Well, good evening and welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings. Thursday night, 6 o'clock. That means it's time for the Gary Goff Show. We come to you every Thursday night live here from Buffalo Wild Wings. And coming in this week off of another W. I'm Russell Snyder, the voice of the Dragons, alongside head coach, Mr. Gary Goff. Coach, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am not doing too awful bad. Like we said last week, it's always fun to come in here after a victory, and we'll talk about last week's win. We will also preview this week's game coming up. And we'll also bring on a coach and a student athlete as we do each and every Thursday night. But, Coach, you got to feel pretty good right now coming in after 5 games of 4-1.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't have the start we wanted the first game of the season, but, I thought for the last 4 weeks our team has really rebounded and showed up to work every day with a great attitude, wanting to get better. And they're a lot of fun to coach right now because they're hungry to improve every day.
That's all you can ask, though, right? You face a little adversity. Just happened to happen in week 1 this year, and then the way your kids bounce back. Week 2, you come back with a win, and you've piled on with 4 straight victories, and you'd like to be riding the high with what you're going into this week as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a lot more fun to come in after a big win, and every win's a big win.
Right.
There's only so many teams that get to win every Saturday. So
about half.
Yeah, about half. But no, we've had a great start this season, and it's still hard to believe we're 5 weeks into the season already.
Tell me about it.
But we still got a lot of games ahead of us, and so we're excited to get back out there.
Last week, the Dragons get a victory 31-28 over Northwood, which again, the Dragons had a pretty good lead like that. And I think you have to credit Northwood a little bit for really battling back and getting themselves back in the game and giving themselves an opportunity, albeit very late, but you got to credit Northwood for never giving up and really battling for all 60 minutes.
Well, absolutely. We talked all week to our team that it wasn't going to be an easy win like it was the year before.
Right.
It's a new year, and Northwood, they work extremely hard just like everybody else does to improve and get better. But I thought the one thing Northwood did is they showed us a few things on their offense side of the ball that they have not shown before.
Okay.
They did a good job coming out there, giving some different things and playing extremely hard. But I thought we did an even better job defensively adjusting to some things. And
right.
I think that's one thing that's difficult about the triple option is that when they're making adjustments during games, it's just their offense. They're calling different plays, but for the defense side, we're trying to make adjustments on the run in the heat of battle right there, and we did a good job with that. We've been a little bit here and there, but we didn't break, and still held them to not too many points, enough for us to win.
Not enough to too much, and that's all that matters. As long as you have more points than they do at that final buzzer sounds, that's all that really matters. We'll talk about some of the defensive statistics here in a little bit, and I know you like to give your defense a little bit of time off when they come off the field, maybe put a drive together. Not this week. How about we say 28 points in 5 plays if you look at the drives. We'll go through the drives here, but have you ever had a game with that many quick strike, big plays in the game to get your scoring opportunities?
Well, we had some games like that before, but we've also usually had some long drives somewhere in the mix.
Somewhere in there as well, yes.
One of our goals is always have, a couple of quick scores and then several long drives. And it just did not work out that way last weekend. And we're never going to turn down points. We'll take points any way we can get them. But, after the game when somebody told me, you realize you scored 28 points and it just took you 5 plays to do that.
Right.
The first thing I did was look at the plays that my defense took, and they took 20 more plays on the field than we did. So we didn't help them in that aspect, but sometimes that's just the way it happens.
How did your defense hold together there on that game, facing that many more plays and what your offense is on the field? You felt like they still had everything they had left to get the end of the ball game?
Yeah, I thought we held up just fine. I think the guys on that side of the ball are in great shape, and they're used to that. I think the only person that might have noticed that might have been Coach Edwards. He's the only one that knew they played more snaps than everybody else. But I didn't see the kids notice anything different there.
Just like you, Coach Edwards, got to be very proud of your defense. This is from our time, my time here at Tiffany University. This is, I think, has been the best defense that I've seen you guys put on the field this year, and it's full-on legitimate defense. It's a lot of fun to see because you guys play a lot of teams with a legitimate defense. It's kind of nice to get back on get on the same page as some of the teams on our schedule. Let's go through the scoring drives. There, like we said, we'll call them drives. But the Dragons got started first quarter. Jaquan Hardy goes in from 45 yards out of one play, 45-yard drive, taking you 10 seconds to get it done. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, the opening drive right there, we stalled out a little bit and had to punt the ball away, but defense did a great job of having them 3 and out. And, first play right there, we call a mid-zone play right there, and Jaquan did a great job of fitting the run and breaking and tackling and scampering 45 yards for the first score. So, yeah, that was one of our first one-play drives.
And I like how you're getting real used to this radio thing, Coach, because the student athlete we're coming on, you just referenced him. You got a little tease there. As you said, the first drive stalled a little bit. We had to punt. So I'll give our tease to our fans that are there who we're going to have on the program here. We'll introduce that young man just a little bit. So the Dragons take an early lead in the first quarter. Northwood comes back and ties the game. So after one quarter of play, you're tied up at 7-all. Second quarter at the 6:10 mark, Joseph Metcalf hits a big 35-yard field goal to give the Dragons a lead that they would not relinquish.
Yeah, again, we got points on the board right there. We had a penalty kind of put us behind the chains right there, but Joe Metcalf came out and put it through the uprights. He's done a great job of doing that all season. Another true freshman playing, but he's going to be a really, really good football player for us. But put points on the board right there, and then I guess I didn't look at it that way, but yeah, we had the lead right there at 10-7, and we never looked back, even though it was a pretty tight ball game.
Right. And then the next score, Matt and I had a little bit of fun with this one in the broadcast. When Tyler Denton gets a 71-yard pass from Nick Watson, another one play, 71 yards, 11 seconds. We figured Tyler would go to Jaquan after the touchdown and be like, 71 yards in 11 seconds. You did 45 in 10 seconds, bud. Come on, pick up the pace a little bit.
All they pay attention to is score, and they don't pay attention to any of that stuff. But they their game plan was really to take away the run, and we really thought they were zeroing in on our run game right there. So it was a play action pass we called right there, and Nick did a great job delivering the football to Tyler Denton, and Tyler did the rest right there and broke a few tackles downfield for that score.
Is there a better play when a team's keen on your run, especially when you have a run game like the Dragons had this year, when you can throw that play action at somebody?
No, I mean, it really is a thing of beauty right there. You know how much we love throwing the football, but
you got to have the run game to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And probably 5 or 6 years ago, we were just throwing the ball all over the place, hoping we could pop a run here and there. But now I think we've got a very dynamic run game, and the run game is opening up the passing game for us.
And just like we've mentioned before, it all starts up front with the offensive line, making sure to create the holes for the running game, and the defensive line making sure the other team can't run the ball against you. So halftime, the Dragons take a 17-7 lead. Northwood comes out, scores first right out of the get-go to make the score 17-14, and then another long drive. This is the longer drive of the day. The two-play, 80-yard drive taking 56 seconds. Another long pass. Nick Watson this time finds Tony Shed from 76 yards.
We tried to give the defense a little bit of breather right there. We took 2 plays on this drive.
That was very kind of you.
But again, I think that Northwood came out that second half and had a few adjustments that they have never shown on film before. So it took us a good drive to figure out exactly what they're doing, and then start making some adjustments on the sideline ourselves. But so they went down the field and scored, but I was very happy how we responded and answered right away.
And then the Dragons get their final touchdown of the game, 8:25 mark of the third period. This time it's Hunter Rockwell, a 35-yard pass from Nick Watson. This is, again, a one-play, 35-yard drive, 7 seconds off the clock. And Hunter Rockwell, he's very dangerous, and you get him out in space and you get him the football, just like Watson did there.
Yeah, Hunter's added a new dimension to the backfield right there. You got Jaquan, who can just pound it away, and then you got Hunter, who is got a lot of speed and has got great hands. And, we'd worked on that play all week and had a little fun with it. So, that was set up by a fumble, recovery right there.
Yeah, yep.
They'd fumbled the kickoff right there. And, Nick did a great job of reading the defense right there and throwing a beautiful ball to Hunter right there in the end zone.
Well, you can score. You talked about before, Coach, if we used the halftime as an example. If you can score right before the half, get the ball back and then score right at the start of the second half, that increases your chance of winning by whatever big percentage number that is. Now, when you can score and then get a turnover on the ensuing kickoff, it's not only is going to increase your chance of winning, that can be an emotional backbreaker to the opposing team.
Oh, absolutely. And, we were a little hesitant when we called that play. I was sitting there thinking, well, they're probably expecting some type of big play, right, trick play after that turnover. But, we stuck with our guns right there, and the guys executed the play perfectly.
Don't overthink yourself, right? Don't overthink
exactly
yourself.
Right.
Well, Northwood scored the final 2 scores of the game. Dragons had a 31-14 lead. As I said, credit Northwood for not giving up, and they battled back, and they got it within 3 points. But the W is all that matters, and the Dragons get this 31-28 victory over Northwood. And Coach, we look at some of the individual numbers here. Jaquan Hardy had another nice game, 16 carries for 95 yards. Your quarterback Nick Watson goes 15 carries, 39 through the air. He goes 9 of 16 for 245, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Talk about those 2 young men from Saturday.
Yeah, somebody asked me after the game, well, hey, Coach, Jaquan, he rushed for, just under 100 yards. I mean, are you concerned about that? And I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I said, there's been plenty of years where we'd have killed for somebody to rush for over 70 yards.
Right.
I said, but just because he reeled off 225 yards a week before, don't expect anybody to do that week in, week out.
No, you can't look at that game and say it was a letdown.
No,
by any
not at
stretch
all.
of the imagination. And also, it all depends on what the defense is giving you out there.
Absolutely.
Well.
So obviously he is a good player and had a solid football game for us. But it's probably Nick's best game. He had several long touchdown passes. I thought he was very accurate with his down the field throws, and he's been working extremely hard on that. So I think it took notice right there in that ball game.
And all you have to do, if somebody says that about Jaquan, is say, did you see our drives took 1 and 2 plays? If they would have been 8 or 10 play drives, who knows? He may have racked up another 50 yards in those
It probably
drives.
would have. Probably would have.
So
I mean, again, we only had 51 snaps, and some of that is because we had 5 drives that really didn't exist. You had 4 drives of 5 plays, and usually that's at least 8, 9, 10 play drives. So.
And I'm sure that there's a number you like to get to on the offensive side of the ball. It's how many snaps you get in a game. I'm sure the number's not 51. You don't have to tell me what the number is, but I guarantee it's much more than 51.
Well, the average is, just under 80, and, obviously we would love to, play extremely fast and get anywhere 85 to 90 plays. But, with, a young quarterback, we were making sure we're being smart right there. And also our defense is playing very well. So, we try to keep them off the field as much as we can.
Yeah, and that doesn't help when you do one-play drives. So.
No, it doesn't.
Speaking of the defense, Carrington Conti, who got Legion tackles, he had 11 solo, 14 tackles for the game. Brandon Burks, another big game. Dejan Isbell, Jacob Murtis, Juwan Nelson, DeLon Wynn, Tyan Young. It just goes down the list. Your defense this year has been so much fun to watch play. It's always fun to watch your offense because you're an offensive guy and you get very creative with your offense, but the defense this year has just been such a pleasure to watch them perform.
Well, they've really set the tone for us. I mean, and Carrington is really that guy. I mean, I've never seen somebody that is just such a relentless player, could care less about his body. He's willing to do whatever it takes to get the ball carrier down. He's really played very selfless, football so far, and that's spread throughout the defense. I mean, I think everybody on that side of the ball is really feeding off one another. We got 11 guys pursuing the football every snap. We got guys that are, standing the ball carrier up, the next guy coming in trying to strip the ball. I mean, so we're truly trying to play championship defense, and that has been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, we talked offense, we talked defense. We better not make Coach Eisen mad. So let's talk a little special teams. Coach, let's talk a little bit about your special teams here while we invite Coach Eisen to come up and join us. But talk a little bit about your special teams. You got Joe Metcalf doing the kicking, and you got Harry McCollum who's going to join us. There it is. Harry will join us later on in the program. But talk about your special teams this year.
Yeah, I think we've always done a good job in this area. I mean, Coach Eisen's done a great job preparing, all these units. And we present something to our opponents that is different and challenging and something they got to prepare for. But I think the difference in this year, we've got a lot of veteran football players that are playing on special teams, but also we've got a very talented kicker in Harry McCollum, and we got a great kicker in Joe Metcalf, and we didn't have that a year ago. So you're seeing some guys help put their teams in some very good situations, whether it's putting points on the board or punting them deep and pinning them inside the 5.
Put them behind the 8 ball. That's absolutely right. Coach Eisen, thanks for joining us here on the program. How are you tonight?
Good. Doing great. Thank you.
Coach Josh Eisen, he takes care of the strength for the team as well as the special teams. And you heard what Coach said about your special teams. Why don't you talk a little bit about the work you've seen those kids put in this year and maybe something that you're seeing a little extra out of them this year?
Well, speaking on like Harry here, Harry's done a great job. He's came in, he's committed himself to the scheme. He's worked very hard on working on his leg strength and getting it through all the time and making sure he's getting good ball placement. That's what we always try to emphasize is we want to punt the ball in a certain area and have good ball placement all the time. And he's worked very hard on that for us.
All right, why don't you talk about Joe on the kicking game as well? Talk about Joe.
Yeah, Joe has came in. Joe's a character, right? I would say he's definitely a character, but he's got a great leg. He's definitely worked on his accuracy as far as field goals, just getting used to the college game as far as the number of kicks he needs to do. It's a little different than high school, but he's definitely grown in that area as well.
How about your coverage on special teams? We'll talk a little bit about the coverage, and we'll talk a little bit about your return game before we get over to Harry. Let's talk about the coverage first.
The coverage as far as like kickoff coverage, that type of stuff?
Well, just the work you're seeing the kids and, what they're doing out there on the field. We haven't given up a lot of big returns or anything this year, which all relates back to field position. And, being able to flip field position on teams is a huge part of a football game. But, talk about that part of your coverage.
Yeah, well, as far as kickoff goes, we always talk about it's a race to the 20-yard line. We want to get them inside the 20 as much as we can because it greatly reduces their chances to score.
Right.
And then with punts, again, we always talk about, again, flipping the field position, trying to get it down. We've worked real hard at getting it down inside the 5 and trying to, again, pin them as deep as we can because it reduces their chances of scoring.
How about the return game?
Return game has been a pleasant surprise.
It's been very nice.
Yeah, it's been very nice for us. Our returners have worked hard as far as hitting the hole, hitting the crease, and getting vertical on it. We haven't got one back yet for a touchdown, but we're going to continue. And up front, the front line has really committed themselves to getting on their blocks, and that's what we try to emphasize.
Well, the football fans just watching a return, their eyes follow the football, go directly to the return man. I mean, when you're watching a play from the line of scrimmage, you can kind of see the line play without really watching it from just a spectator's eye.
Yes.
But when you're following especially on a return, you don't see what's going on up there. And that's, I mean, if those guys aren't doing their job, somebody can get hurt.
Oh, yeah, no. And on that, Tony Shedd last week did a great job as far as off returner, really leading for Dontrell up in the hole and getting that extra guy to spring him. So those guys up front and like that, Tony Shedd has really done a great job.
Why don't you talk about the young man sitting to your left, punter Harry McCollum?
Harry, be honest with you, we got lucky to get Harry. We got him late in the recruiting process, and it's been an awesome to work with and a very, very good surprise for me. He works extremely hard. He does a very good job, like I say, working on placing that ball, getting it pinned down there for us on those punts, and working on his angles.
It's kind of the first time the waiver wires have actually worked out for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, Harry, welcome to the program, man. Thanks for joining us here on the Gary Goff Show.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk a little bit about that. They mentioned them being lucky to get you here. Why don't you tell us about the path that eventually led to you being here at Tiffin University?
So I am a graduate transfer student. I was originally at Georgetown University for the first 3.5 years. I graduated early, looking to go play. My dream was always to go play for an FBS school, compete for a bowl game, and I ended up settling on Louisiana Lafayette, and I was there since January. And then things didn't work out, and after the first 3 days of camp, I was in a spot where I didn't even know if I was going to play ball this year, and I was lucky enough to have a connection with Coach Neugebauer, and he's now at Georgetown, and he reached out to these two, and luckily it all worked out, and I'm here at Tiffin now.
And
So,
you're a graduate student?
Yes, sir.
What are you studying?
I'm getting my MBA in management.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the punting game. But tell us what a day at practice is like for the punter. I'm sure it's different.
Can you? I don't know if he can. Can he?
I was going to say, wait a minute.
Yeah, so for the specialist lifestyle is very different from your typical football player.
Right.
You're kicking balls for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then the rest of practice, it's kind of on your own. You're kind of working some technique, and after that, you're kind of just hanging with the guys, watching practice, trying to stay involved, and
Laughing at Wheeler.
Yeah, Nick Wheeler. He's a heck of a guy, so he's fun to work with too.
If you could talk these two into letting you play one other position on the football field for the Dragons, what would it be?
For me,
Yes.
I was back 5 years ago in high school. I was a tight end, so I'd probably want to be a tight end.
What do you think, Coach? Stick the punt.
He's got good hands. I mean, all he does is catch a football all day long. So
I was waiting for him to say quarterback.
That's what I thought he was going to say. I figured he was looking at this question as there's no way I'm going to get a play whatever. I can say whatever I want, nose tackle, quarterback, whatever. Hey, last week you had 4 punts inside the 20-yard line. I'm sure that pinning teams down inside the 20-yard line has to give you great pride. Is that something that you put as a personal goal every week? I get the opportunity, X number of these got to be down inside the 20?
Right, so compared to my other school, so when I was at Georgetown University, we were normally punting from our own side, and I was getting a lot of open field punts, whereas Tiffin, we were moving the ball a lot better. We're getting the ball downfield, and I'm able to work on my Aussie-style punts and my normal punts, trying to get them inside the 20, and getting that opportunity this year, I've been really stressing that at practice, and I think it's paid off so far.
Coach,
he's been great at it. He really and we really didn't know this coming in. We saw his film and everything. He's got a strong leg. We're very happy about that. But it wasn't until we started playing the season. We're like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, so he's got a knack for really getting that back spin on the ball and pinning our opponent inside the 5.
And this is something that's not easily done, Coach.
No, it's a unique thing, and that's why I always tell all the specialists is, listen, not everybody on the team can do it. You have a special talent, and you need to be proud of that talent. So what he can do is very special. The fact that he's able to get the Aussie, and our guys have now sold out and committed to it, and we understand that, hey, it's going to hit, and we have a great chance for it to roll, either way. So we're selling out to hopefully pin it down.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do at all. And, you can do it all day long in practice, but when you got 10 guys coming at you full speed, it changes everything. I mean, I watch the punters and the kickers of our opponents in the pregame, and some of these guys look just amazing. And then you get them in a game, and it doesn't work out that way.
Different story.
Yeah, now here that's a different case with you, though. We watch you in warm-ups, and you are booming them and booming them, booming them. Then we get into the game, and you still don't seem to drop off at all. What do you attribute that to?
Well,
is it just your focus, your constant? Okay, as a punter, do you notice those guys coming in at you?
So early on in my career, so this is my 4th year starting in college as a punter, and early on in my career, I sometimes let that get in my head, but I learned that if you let that get in your head, you're not going to You're not going to get a good punt. Punting's all mental, and if you let them get in your vision and get in your head, you're not going to have a good punt. So you have to block everything out. So I just attributed that to kind of maturing over the years as a punter, and just the experience that I've had. I've just been able to phase everyone out and kind of just do my job. So,
as a punter and kicker, how important is that focus? I mean, you have to be focused. I mean, it's important all over the place, but it's so hard with all those guys. There's so much chaos going on in front of you.
All joking aside, nobody understands how difficult their job is. I mean, you think about it. I mean, nobody's paying them any attention. They get in there and kick the ball, and if it's good, great. If it's bad, what are you doing? Yeah. If you make no
matter how far you kick it, they're going to take 12 yards off of your distance because they're going to go for the line of scrimmage too. So.
Absolutely. So I mean, it is Harry's right. It's a mental. Big part of their play is mental, and from the field goal kicker to the punter, it's not that much different.
All right, here's a question. Go ahead, Coach.
No, what I was going to say, too, it comes down to also with Logan C. snapping the ball. He has great operations for us, and that gives him more confidence as the game goes. And we've talked during camp. I kept telling him, I was like, Harry, trust me, our guys up front are going to do a great job. You just have confidence. You put the foot to it, and we'll cover it for you. You just keep building that confidence. And I attribute that to our shields, Vinny Jones, Jasper. Those guys have done a great job, and Logan C. giving those good snaps. So.
Here's a punting question for you. I'm punting the ball with my son in the backyard the other day. I kick it, now it's at the top of a tree about 70 feet up in the air. How do I get that down?
You're going to want to get the fire department.
Was that what I got to? When you look at your career here so far at Tiffin University, 5 games in, got, 6 games left here. Have you set any other personal goals for you? Is it just continue what you're doing as far as pinning them deep, getting enough nice clean punts, and just doing exactly what you're asked to do? I mean, a punter, you don't have to do that extra. Do what you're told to do, and your job's going to be done. Have you thought about any extra, personal goals or anything like that for this year? Or?
So, I mean, obviously, want to keep hitting them deep, flipping field position, all that, what you expect from your punter. But as a veteran, experienced guy, one of the biggest things I'm trying to do is help to mentor our new kicker, Joe Metcalf. He's a freshman. He's really good. But I'm just trying to help him get through because, again, I was saying it's a huge mental game. And as a freshman, I was glad that I had a senior, and now he's got me. And I'm trying to help him through, the kicking game in college because it's much different from high school.
Well, you talked about the maturity level, how much more mature you feel that you are, and have you grown from a freshman to now? I mean, expand on that a little bit. I mean, you were probably looking at yourself as a kid, and now you feel more like you're turning into a man.
Right. I mean, just the kind of the experience that I've had in this past 5 years, it's just been crazy. I came in after high school going to Georgetown. It's kind of like I self-taught myself. I didn't really know that much about punting. I just kind of had a good leg and moved on. I went to some coaches, and they helped, mature. Like, they helped me out with maturity and gave me some technique, and they helped me to respect the game. And I don't know, I feel like I've just grown up so much since I've started. So
as a punter, when you come off the field after you punted, What, after you kick it, what happens on the field that gives you the most pride? Is it the downing the ball inside the 5? Is it your coverage team creating a turnover? What is it that gives you the biggest sense of pride when you come off the field after kicking it?
I'd have to say, I mean, that's a tough one because, you get one inside the 5, that's a game changer, because driving the ball 95 yards, that's tough for the other team to score. But at the same time, you're getting that turnover. That's even a bigger change, and I think that for sure would be the biggest change for me. So yeah.
Coach Eisen, you've seen him work out this year. You're talking about how impressive he's been for you, and talk about a little bit about that changing field position, what it does to your team, because you'll see the punter, if he gets off a 40-yarder from his own 20-yard line, he gets a few high fives coming off the sideline. You pin somebody deep, that whole team is out there ready to give you a high five. Talk about what it means to the team, not to the other team.
Well, we're always constantly preaching inspiring special teams. We want special teams to inspire people to be game-changing moments. The one thing I will say, when you are able to flip the field position like that, that's a game-changing moment, because now that gives the defense a greater chance to get a 3-and-out and now shorten the field for our offense. So that, everybody on the team is now starting to really buy in and realize that we've just flipped the field. We have a great chance to score right after this. Defense
has a little bit extra pep in her step coming out. Coach, I just realized something. I think Harry should feel privileged. I think he's the first punter you've had on the program since we've been doing this.
Oh, absolutely. And Harry knows this too. When I recruited him, I told him, look, I don't like punting the ball. I'm an offensive guy. When I got to send you on the field, I am not happy.
Right. But like you said, drives need to end in a kick one way or another, right?
Right. No, Harry's done a great job for us. Really has. We're blessed to have him.
Well, different game this week. We're going back on the road, going up to Ferris State, a team who was ranked very, very highly in the nation earlier in the year, and still very highly ranked. And they're going to cause some problems for you guys to face this weekend. But I think going up there with our defense is going to give us an opportunity in this football game. But talk a little bit about Ferris State and the challenges they face.
Yeah, they're a very talented team. I mean, they are the best team we've played so far, obviously. It's going to be a great opportunity for us, and we got to go up there and take care of Tiffin. We're still worried about how we play the game and giving our best effort on every snap. But, hey, they're what's advertised. They're big, fast, they're strong, they're a very powerful offense, they're a very powerful defense. There's a reason why they went very deep last year.
I'll say a lot of that hasn't changed over the last few years.
No, it hasn't changed, but it's going to be a great opportunity for us. We've had a great week of practice, and we expect to go up there and play extremely hard and see where the cards fall.
Coach Eisen, what do you think about this this weekend, Coach, as you get your kids ready to go up and take on the Bulldogs?
Pretty much what Coach Goff just kind of went on. We've had a great week. We feel prepared. It's just go out, play hard, and see what happens. They're a good team, but we're hoping to go up there and give them everything we got.
We're a good team too. Mm-hmm. So
exactly
what? We'll put a couple of good teams on the field this Saturday and see what happens. Harry,
it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, your thoughts on this Saturday's football game?
Obviously they're ranked high in the polls or whatnot, but this is a team I came to, and this is a team that I know we came out and beat Ashland last year when they were 4, and we don't really look at the numbers as that important.
That's my job.
We're going to go out and play our game and give it our all. So
that's all you can ask. I'll go out there and give effort. 1 o'clock start, right, on Saturday? 1 o'clock start. As our game will be heard on WTUD, TUDragonRadio.com, as well as Coast Country 100.9 WMJK. And I do not believe there's video streaming available from Ferris State this weekend.
I think there is. I thought I saw there is.
Did they add something?
Yeah.
Okay, there wasn't a couple days ago. So that's good. Our fans can go to, just search out Ferris State football, Ferris State athletics, and you'll find the link to the video stream this Saturday. Coach, we're out of time already, man. 6:30, time flies. And any parting thoughts for Harry or Coach Eisen before we wrap up the program?
No, not at all. Coach Eisen's been here with me from day one, and we're excited. We got Harry. Harry was just Employee of the Month in the Hemminger Center, so he's a man of many hats.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
We didn't have time to talk about it, but no, we're having a lot of fun right now. Good things are happening for us, and we want to go out and continue to have good things happen for us. So.
Coach Eisen, thank you so much for your time. Continued success. I feel like I've known you for a little while now, too. You guys have been here for a bit.
Yeah, we've been here, it's good to get to know you more and more every year. So.
Yeah, and Harry, thank you so much for joining us on the program, man. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, everybody, this has been the Gary Goff Show. We do it live from Buffalo Wild Wings every Thursday night, 6 o'clock. You can catch the replay at 12 noon on WTUD. as part of our pregame festivities this coming Saturday. Dragons and the Bulldogs, 1 o'clock start. We'll catch you next week, 6 o'clock at Buffalo Wild Wings, right here for the Gary Goff Show.